He's Bob Saget. He's known as a comedian, and he's back on the program here in the Man Cave. Bob, I'll give you the official introduction here.
Thank you.
All right. Bob Saget's new special, 0 to 60, premieres November 14th on Amazon, iTunes, Comcast, Google Play, and many other platforms. The album will be released. Are they called albums?
It's going to be a CD, and they're doing an LP. I'm actually doing vinyl, and I'll be wearing vinyl. I'm in a zipper outfit made of vinyl.
Known for Full House.
Really?
Funniest home videos.
Oh my God, those are old credits. There's
Entourage.
Fuller House. I like Entourage. Go ahead, keep going.
But
sorry,
did you play you in Entourage?
not really. That's a heightened version of me. I've never really walked around my house in a black robe, smoking a cigar with a beautiful woman next to me.
You've never done that.
Last night, actually, with my girlfriend. But that's allowable.
Did they approach you?
And she got lucky last night.
Did they?
Because I left her alone. I was a little negative last night. If I watch the news, I get negative, and because I take stuff in because I'm sensitive. So I'm very happy to be here this morning.
Oh, good. All right.
Because you're positive. You guys are all positive.
We're trying to get positive energy.
So am I. I'm trying to put out. Today's my start day of rebooting.
Positivity.
You can just not watch the news. I just can't handle it right now. But give as much as you can to people that need help right now.
What is off limits for comedy right now?
Well, there shouldn't be anything, but too soon is the old comedy adage. And we're obviously in a world of too soon because everything's happening so immediately and everything is so painful so quickly that if you follow something and you watch the people that calm me down are the late night hosts, or the political satirists. But I'm kind of wanting to detach right now and just entertain people in many different ways. I do a lot of juggling with my body parts. See, that nonsensical stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just saying silly stuff like that is kind of what, just like my dad used to do. That's what gets me through.
Did you grow up with Carson?
Yeah.
So
I grew up watching. I was 11 years old. I actually told this because I had been on Johnny Carson's show like 13 times. Not that I memorized exactly the number, but with Johnny. And it was pretty. The first time I was on with Gary Shandling was the host, and then another time with Jay Leno, and then a lot of Johnny's. But I was 11 in Washington, D.C., visiting a relative, lighting a sparkler on New Year's all by myself and watching Johnny bring in the new year. And he was like a hero. I mean, he was.
How nervous were you that first time?
The first time I wasn't. It was really strange because I felt like I knew him.
Really?
And I'd already started I was on a show on CBS that I got fired from. I was on a morning show before I did Full House. And he just liked me. I couldn't figure out. Never touched me. And I'll just wait. That's called dead air.
No, I got it.
No, dead air is when you say something and it just lays there.
No, but sometimes
and
it's
four
good.
guys with headsets and laptops. By the way, you look at these guys. They seem like nice guys. I've met them before. I've been on your show. You've honored me before by being here. But when you see four guys with headphones and laptops, it can't lead to no good. You don't know if they're looking at sports or horses or what. Somebody's looking at something wrong on one of these things.
Okay, but if you were going to
Somebody's
single
pulling
out,
a Ted Cruz over there.
if you could single out one of the four,
I don't trust him
Fritzy,
right now.
That's a good call.
Because
That's a very good observation.
Because he's got that round, happy face. He looks like the little kid that did nothing wrong. That's what I used to look like
I'm
my whole
staring at a
life.
blue screen right now. I've definitely gone to a
You got a blue
website.
screen?
Yeah, it's a problem.
That's what I call
I
it.
got some kind of virus here.
What was the difference between Letterman and Carson? The biggest one.
Well, actually, I met David, was one of my first MCs at the Comedy Store in L.A., and he just worshipped Johnny and knew that Johnny was the best. And so he, and David was obviously incredibly brilliant, and he got a lot of Johnny's qualities, a lot of funny. I would go on David's show, and I always had the same patter where I would talk nonstop. I still do, as you can tell from how many questions you've asked me.
Yes, yeah. I've gotten two. Yeah.
I really worked hard on this. I worked hard all morning on not shutting up. And it gets some people, but the idea is to entertain. That's what I'm here for, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Sorry.
That wasn't a question. by me.
Sorry.
No, that was.
I was actually interviewing
Yes,
myself.
you were.
But I would say to Johnny Carson, this is a true. This story's true, and he would say, "I don't care, just tell it." And the same thing would happen with David Letterman. I would go, "This story's true." He says, "I don't care if it's true. Just fill 5 minutes. I don't care." And he was just.
But I miss Dave because he was dangerous.
Yeah, and honest as hell.
But these guys now they're going after Trump, but they're not dangerous the way Letterman was, because Letterman could have Cher on or Madonna,
Right.
and Paris Hilton, and he would call him out.
No, he didn't care.
Yes.
But there's something about, I miss David terribly, and I'm thrilled that he's doing a Netflix thing. He's going to do like 10 of them, I'm told.
Yeah.
I mean, I just miss him. I miss Johnny. I mean, I miss Jack Parr.
Who don't you miss?
FDR. I miss him
You
so
miss-
much. I actually do miss FDR.
At these times.
Who do you miss the most? William Howard Taft.
Didn't Taft die in a bathtub or something? Wasn't he like a 300?
I know he had a bad set, but it was, that could be taken 4 ways.
It didn't go over well.
No, it didn't. He bombed
Taft
in the bathtub.
did not. He did not.
Right.
Yeah. If you're gonna go, not in the bathtub.
No, bathtubs are bad ways to go. And showers are bad. You kind of want to stay out of the bathroom.
Where's the worst place you bombed?
I was actually it's in my new special, which won't be on for a month, but I came out early.
November 14th.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it's a cool thing because it's gone on so many different platforms. It's a new model, which hasn't happened. I dated a new model once. It doesn't work, but this new model is good and real and wholesome.
Can you answer the question?
No, not able.
Where's the
just
worst
answer
place
the
you
question.
bombed?
Anchorage, Alaska, in a strip club called PJ's that Jay Leno told us all to go to because they paid cash. And
How much did you get paid to go to
I
Anchorage?
don't remember.
Don't
I
you
think it
lose
was-
money if you're going to go to Anchorage?
Well, there's no slot machines. There's just marijuana was legal and so were guns. So they were way ahead of the curve. And I was 24, so this is like 1982. And I went with Kevin Nealon, and we went on a tour of Mount McKinley while another comedian stayed in the trailer with the strippers. And and I followed a stripper, and she was fantastic. She was she lit pie pans on fire, little easy bake oven pie pans over her nether regions, and then blew herself out. And this isn't. And I'm giving away a joke. And then she literally said it. Now the comedy of Bob Saget. So, and she said it.
Was
with
she
that
funnier
low
than
of
you?
She was hilarious. Sweat and sulfur. It's all I remember. And Febreze. They didn't have it then, but they had some product.
How much
some
did you
product.
get paid in Anchorage?
I get $500 or $700, I think,
Oh.
for like 4 days or something.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it wasn't good. I think the flight was. I think we flew in a FedEx plane. I think we were in cargo. I flew with an orangutan. It was wonderful. It was times were terrible. I mean, it was like 8 years of struggling to try to get a job.
Who's the funniest comedian off stage?
Wow, that's a tough one. Most comedians that are really great are pretty serious off stage because they're dealing with everybody's an outsider, so you're looking at the world.
Give me a table full of comedians that.
You really want to be with a table full of comedians?
No.
Because they always show it, and they do. There's so many television shows about it now.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
dying up there, and all these different shows. And it's not even there aren't even snarky comments that are funny and that are it used to be when I was doing it out in the clubs or whether it be the Comedy Store or the Improv, you'd all stand around outside, and I always found Mark Maron really funny to listen to just because he was so dry and honest and. But there's a lot of people that just aren't funny. They're competing or silly's always fun to me. Or someone coming up with just riffing. If you get to riff with somebody, if it's more improv like, then I find that funny. So I can't pick a favorite, but there's a lot of people that I really like that we all like. That you would see. I'm in the middle of post. I've been editing a movie that I directed that I'm in, and I'm in it with a bunch of friends and comedians, and it's Rob Corddry, who's unbelievably hilarious, and Kevin Pollak and Dave Foley and Sherry O'Terry and Marilyn Reiskoff. They're all comedians or comedy oriented people like Rob, and that was a great experience working. And they worked really hard, but collaborative work together with funny people is a blast.
I'm wondering though. I brought this up to these guys that if you could say to Adele. You're not going to go through the pain of the breakup that you were able to write this unbelievable album, 19, I think, that I take away the pain. Is it the same way with a comedian?
Yeah, you can't take away the pain. The funny won't work.
Like you would rather go through the pain.
Well, I don't want to go through the pain.
You don't.
But I'm made that way. I mean, my family's pain has befallen our family. I mean, we had a lot of deaths since I was a kid. I've lost my parents and they're in the car, but
Well, then you didn't lose them. You know where
no,
they are.
I know where they are, but they're not alive. They're not with us anymore. But is that against the law?
I don't
think
know.
it
How
is.
long are you keeping them in there?
Well, you guys look that up. Google that. He's already he knows where they are.
Let's see.
And but I lost 2 sisters. I mean, it's been a rough go.
But you don't.
So-
That's not part of your.
Actually, in my new special, I do talk about the passing of my mom because she vowed she was going to return.
Oh,
And,
she did.
and I asked her, please don't. and there's humor in, you can, gallows humor. I wrote a book about it, death and comedy and how they intersect. And there is solace in the humor during it. With my family, when someone would pass away, my dad would always try to make people feel better.
Well, we bring up, Paulie's dad's dad, mine is, and Fritzy. So we, McLovin and Seton will bring up Father's Day and, hey, I got to go see my dad. Like,
Right.
So they rub it in a little bit. And
I
then,
was gonna go see my dad, but decided not to.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I'll do it next time.
Yeah.
I chose not to.
yeah.
Stamos and I do that. He lost his dad years ago. I lost my dad, and we were there for each other. And how's your dad? Oh, he's doing great. How's yours? And it's just a way you deal with it. And when things are really, really tragic, then you can't go there. But if it's a normal course of life, somewhat, it's dealable.
Why is it the Irish have it right with the wake?
Liquor.
Is that it?
Well, I think it's.
If I put liquor in with a Jewish funeral,
Yes, that would be, and that's the shiva. That
Would-
you
would
need
that
to
be
add-
fun?
No, you don't want if there's corned beef next to it. I mean, I've been to a bunch of shivas lately. What they do is they don't at the wake the body is there, a lot of wakes,
Yeah.
and there's booze because if there's a body in the room, you want to drink. Norm Macdonald, by the way, is one of the funniest people I would say because Norm has a bit about and I directed the movie Dirty Work with Norm. He's an old friend. He just makes me laugh harder than almost anyone alive. And he has had a bit about his father passing away, and somebody came over to him at the wake and said, "Hey, would you like a sandwich?" He goes, "I don't know. There's a dead guy here. I don't know. How about, I mean, it's a dead guy and he's got a sandwich. And that's not even a punchline. It's just it's a situation.
but it is weird.
But it is it's a custom. But if you were doing it at a Jewish thing, you'd have the body holding coleslaw and potato salad. You put them on a bed of lettuce. But this is laughing at death, and that's not what we want to do. But because there's so much. I'm hell bent on entertaining people right now,
All right.
and I don't know why. And it's the same thing you guys are doing here. Sports takes people's minds off of stuff, and when you bring politics into it, it doesn't really help. But
Let me take a break here.
oh, you have to take a break.
I do. I mean, you can keep talking.
I will.
0 to 60 premieres November 14th on a few platforms there. It's Bob Saget's new special. The album will be released the same day on all digital and physical audio retailers.
Physical. You have to be able to touch them.
Okay.
And it's on Amazon, which means 2 clicks you can get the show and lotion. Because that's how you have to watch my product. I know you're on it right now.
Here we go. That's 20 after the hour. I think we'll continue with Bob Saget right after this.
Thank you.
My sleep number, I didn't bring my bed with me to Los Angeles, so I didn't get a great night's sleep. Just letting everybody know.
You tried to put it in the overhead bin.
This is a live read is what this is.
I like this.
Yeah.
Now, what bed is it?
It's a sleep number bed.
Well, where is it now?
My bed is back in Connecticut.
Why didn't you bring it? You need it.
No, remember Don Henley of the Eagles? I think he used to travel with his bed
Right.
because I think he had a bad back. But
Right. Well, he had a woman strapped to it also.
My sleep number setting is 60, and sleep number beds cost about the same as traditional mattresses, twice as long, and you're in love, so maybe you could use a sleep number bed.
I got a pretty good bed. It's low to ground, so I can't really fall. But it's
Just
sleep. What
roll.
a sleep member? It's called
Sleep number.
Oh no, sleep. I got a sleep member. That's
sleep
different.
number.
I didn't get bleeped, right?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
You're ruining my live read. 550 sleep number stores nationwide, Bob.
500?
Yes.
In every state?
No, like all over. It's 550 total.
That's amazing.
You can find the one nearest you by calling 1-800-SLEEP-25.
What's that number again?
1-800-SLEEP-25.
I'm helping this read.
And make sure you tell them that we sent you. Good luck. Do kids come over to your house for trick or treat?
No, I don't allow that.
They don't?
Well, it's gated. It's hard to get in. No,
Man, let me give you a full introduction again.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, man.
He's Bob Saget, actor, comedian, Full and Fuller House.
Right.
Entourage, Funniest Home Videos.
Those are such old credits.
But you did it.
I did, and I'm proud of it.
Were you?
Oh yeah. I would.
Are
I
you
was
proud
thinking
of it
about-
now?
Proud of it then too. It made a lot of people happy. See, I would do a show. I play a character that's nothing like me, although I do have a dustbuster, and I am a television father that you can trust, which is rare. And got quiet. But I honestly love making people happy, and you could watch that show with your family, and then I could go off and do my stand-up, which I love doing more now than ever. And if it wasn't for those shows, I wouldn't have the familiarity with the audience where they trust me to go into my little, PG-19 soft R comedy that just entertains people. That's what I want to do.
But what's more surprising, when people see your stand-up or the fact that you were in Fuller House and you were in Full House?
Fuller House is happening right now on Netflix, and it's doing incredibly well.
But just you're a father figure here,
and I am. I'm 61 years old. I ought to be. If I'm playing if I'm playing Beaver on Leave It to Beaver, I'm miscast.
But if I see you on Full House and I see your stand-up, it's two different Bob Sagets.
And I'm doing this movie called Benjamin, where I'm acting in it, where it's a movie where you believe my son's on crystal meth. And so it's a serious kind of Just Say No ensemble movie that's indie film, and I'm playing a character that's nothing like either of them. And I just love doing different things, and I love telling a story and entertaining. So I've been out doing stand-up against my even better judgment sometimes, because it's been so rough in the world, just to entertain people, and they're so thankful that Fuller House is on, and so I own it completely. And even when we did the show in the beginning, people would say, I lost my mother, I lost my father. I watched that show with my single parent, because that's what the show was about, except it was a fantasy world where John Stamos and Dave Coulier were helping me raise my children, and yet the kids don't look like me. They look like Dave. So
it seems a little far-fetched, though.
Oh, it was based on Three Men and a Baby. Two men and Tom Selleck. It was based on three men.
See, Stamos was a little too good looking for that show.
He's still too good looking, but I love
he
him.
was distracting.
Well, I've seen him fully nude, and
as opposed to full nude, but you've fully, and upside down, he's not as good looking. but he's like a sister to me. I mean, I love both. Dave Coulier, by the way, Offstage, Dave Coulier is one of the funniest people. You guys, I've heard that,
would like Dave Coulier Offstage. And I'm not saying he's not funny on stage, because he is, but Offstage, he's the guy in the locker room that runs around naked and doesn't do anything lascivious, but he'll just use his body as Play-Doh and just go, look at me, I'm a turtle. It's like, Dave, I don't want to see that. What are you doing? But he would just do it to make you laugh. He would use body parts as a thing, kind of like a clown would make balloon animals. I mean, he can stretch any part of his body, and he flies an airplane. And he's very official, and he's a hockey player guy.
Oh yeah, we've heard of.
Have you had him on here?
Did we have Coulier on?
You should have him on, ask him to play with his body parts for you.
But he also dated Alanis Morissette.
He did. He was one of that song. It was about 3 different guys. It's a composite, is what she says. But I was at his house when he got a phone call from her, and she actually said, "I hate to call you during dinner." She actually, I was at the house. I was literally, I don't know, it was kind of weird. She said she hated to call me during dinner.
The next thing you know, it ends up, but she was Taylor Swift before Taylor Swift.
She was very talented.
writing about her relationships here.
I think that's what you get most of your stuff out of. I mean, I can't really write about my relationships because I don't want to be sued, and that's not what it is.
But you're in love.
I keep stuff, and I am in love.
You're in love now.
I'm not afraid to say it. And you're in love when you I don't sleep well when she's not there. And I chloroform myself every night. Chloroform's not popular anymore, is it?
It's just not as used as much as it should.
In the
is what
50s.
you're saying. Yeah.
During the good old Kill a Mockingbird days. But that's a good reference to the morning.
Yeah, they're going to love that.
They're going to love that out in Ohio.
Yeah, we're killing there.
Yeah, but she's good. She's got a whole
nobody cares
thing.
about. Nobody cares about. No. Go back to Alanis Morissette. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
She liked me.
In the movie theater. And, let me ask you about your favorite favorite comedy movie growing up.
Oh, that's so tough. Growing up too. I mean, I loved It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Growing up because I'm so old. But then as I got into comedy, I found out, older I was when Annie Hall and all the Mel Brooks movies. Young Frankenstein was way up there. Airplane. Oh my God, putting on the Ritz, and Airplane. Do you like gladiator movies? You ever seen A Grown Man Naked? Those, and I know Jerry Zucker, and he's a friend, and that's the coolest part. Is now that I'm so damn old, I get to know some of the people that have made these. I met through Norman Lear's a friend of mine. If I'm going to drop some names.
Man, that's
a big.
What is the limit that you're allowed to have, Paulie?
He's got one more.
I drop names every 7 seconds. I'm disgusting. I'm horrible, but he's a genius. He is a genius.
Give me the most famous person in your phone.
In my what?
Phone.
In my phone?
Yeah, you're rolling down.
I'll just give you my phone. I'll beam the whole thing to you. I want you to call everybody.
Who's in there that
I've
I might
got
be?
you in there.
I know you do.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I can't think about that. The problem I have is that we all have is deceased people in your phone. That's the worst. And I don't remove them. I will not remove them.
My mom's number's still in there.
I know. I call it a lot.
I know.
Yeah. She answered.
No, when you call from her number, that's what gets me. And I go, Mom, and then it's you.
It's not her because it's sexting. It's all sexting. But to be honest, the coolest person I met through Norman Lear is Mel Brooks, and that was an idol of mine. And I had been doing a play on Broadway. I've been doing this play called The Drowsy Chaperone years back, and I had met Mel Brooks once because Anne Bancroft, God bless her, man, I was in love with her. Mrs. Robinson, The Graduate was a movie. Telling the audience, but this is 20 years ago.
Another 60s
I was on the video show.
there.
25 years ago. This is going to be a 40-minute story.
Yeah.
Talk about the bed.
My sleep number bed.
Anne Bancroft, everybody was in love with Anne Bancroft, grabs me and says, Mel, you love him. This is Bob. He's on that video show. He says, get in the car. She goes, no, it's Bob Saget. You love him. Get in the car, will you? And then she grabs me by the face. She goes, he loves you. We watch you every Sunday. I'm so sorry. That's him. I'm sorry. And as we say, cut to 20 years later, I'm in this play on Broadway, and Mel goes, sit down. And I sit at a restaurant with him for like 3 hours, and we had some drinks, and Young Frankenstein had come out on Broadway, and I was in this play, and I was doing pretty good in it. And he said, "You want to be in it? We're gonna have a new lead for the thing." And I said, "I can't dance. I'll break a knee. I got a note from a doctor." And then I just asked him all these questions and talked to him about Anne, and he started to cry. And he asked him about Young Frankenstein, asked him about Blazing Saddles, asked him about all the things that I thought were the funniest things that I ever saw. And I saw him at a party. This is 7 minutes ago. I started the Norman Lear story. I asked him
There's a big payoff
at
coming.
a party for this Norman Lear movie, which is fantastic. Just another version of You, which is a documentary that it's about Norman, who's Obi-Wan Kenobi in my life. He's a genius and a wonderful human being. And Mel Brooks comes over to me and grabs my head, and he yells at me in front of a room full of people, "I'm the only one that likes you." It's just like kind of like Don Rickles, who was a friend of mine. That was one. That's the man.
Now,
that's what you were trying to lead me to.
Yes, but you
20 minutes ago.
You wouldn't let me go there.
I'm still grieving over it. I lost him. He was like a dad to me.
You can't do another 20-minute story.
No more death.
I got to take a break.
Do whatever you want. I'm going to lay on that bed. What's it called?
It's a sleep number bed.
Can you lay face down on it?
Yes, you can.
Because I like face down.
Yes.
Is it soft?
Yes.
Is it softer in the middle?
He's Bob Saget. His new special is 0 to 60. It premieres November 14th on Amazon and all different platforms there.
iTunes.
Yeah, they got it all. Google
Dish.
Play, you got it all. Everything.
AT&T.
Yeah, they got it all. The album be
Your
released
mother's
the
house.
same day, and digital and physical audio. Get rid of the physical audio retailers.
No, we don't want to because there's so little time left in that world. So
I know, but you don't say
if you're coming out on CD, I never heard physical.
I haven't either. Physical audio.
Well, they give you a physical.
And it's audio.
And right, it comes with. I'm telling you, it comes with a gel.
Bob, it's always great to see you.
It was a pleasure to be
That's
here.
Bob
I love
Saget.
being here.
That's Bob Saget. He was in Full House and America's Funniest Home Videos.
And I have new things coming out.
He has a lot of new things.
A lot of relevant next 20 years of career. But I want to thank these guys for just sitting here and not speaking.
And if you see Bob, bring up Norman Lear. He loves to tell that story.
Anybody named Norman.
That's great. We'll take a break here. Bob, you're going to have to go.
Okay.
Bob is going to leave right now.
I'm going to stand and
We're
go.
going to be back right after this.
I'm going to go buy a bed.
Right here we go on the Dan Patrick Show.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.